I have Guerrilla Ghost with us here today. Thanks for joining us, guys.
Hi, Craig. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Chuck. Why don't you guys introduce yourselves? Let us know what you do in the band, and then we'll get going.
My name is Bad Graff. I am the vocalist and playwright of Guerrilla Ghost.
And I'm Tron Jovi. I am the producer, make all the beats.
All right, right on. So you guys have a brand new album due out end of next week, April 15th it drops. The new album is coming out on your label, Triple I Industries. It's titled Hell is Empty and All the Devils Are Here. And this is your, I'm going to blank here, your third or fourth album? Full length?
Oh, man. I think
Third.
Yeah, third proper album.
Third proper full length, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so and this follows up We Get What We Deserve, which came out, I guess, just under 2 years ago now.
Yeah, that was the kind of early on in the pandemic.
Is that regular years or pandemic? It feels like forever ago since we released that and talked to you about it.
Yeah, that was what, July 2020.
Yeah, July 2020. So I guess height of the pandemic or middle of the pandemic. So you guys weren't, yeah, and you guys weren't, I guess, that brings up that you weren't really able to get out and promote that the way that you normally would. So you're going to basically be able to promote you're going to kind of hit this with maybe a regular promotion cycle.
Yeah, well, last record we did have a publicist, and this record we have a publicist as well, but it'll be nice to go out and play shows and sell some records people directly and have some conversations at the merch booth, which is always fun, versus doing the live streams that we had to do the last time around.
Okay.
We did like 3-4 of those.
Yeah, it was difficult because everybody was navigating a new normal at that time, and PR was still handled the same, although it had to be handled in a different manner, if that makes any sense.
Right.
A lot of the things that we were accustomed to doing in a promotional cycle for an album, we weren't able to do. So this time around, it's nice, like Tron said, to actually get out, see faces, shake some occasional hands, have conversations, all the things that we neglected doing the last time around. So it's almost like a breath of life and old material again.
Yeah. Yep. So when you guys are constantly making new music, like that's one of the things I think has become the normal for you guys, is you're kind of putting out new music, EPs and singles on a regular basis. And how did you decide, how does it come together that you kind of decide that you have now enough material for a full length versus just continuing to kind of put, a smaller amounts out?
I think I'm trying to get away from doing singles, at least. I know Chuck likes it, but for me, it's always so much more PR work to do one song and then come back, in a month and do one more song, versus if we have a batch of songs, it feels like publishers and blogs and DJs want to interview us and talk about a body of work a little bit more than a single. So it always feels like we get a little bit more promotional push behind it. But I think a lot of it is just more, I'll make a batch of beats that kind of sounds like they belong together, and then Chuck will start thinking about them as a group. And so once he decides this is the set of the songs for this push, that determines whether it's an EP or an album. We did have an EP that came out in between this album and that one in July. So last year we did the Tremaine EP, which was a batch of songs that kind of needed to be released together, just because of the way the concept stuff, of course. But I think because they were all the beats were kind of made in a similar time frame, they just have a certain vibe that where they fit together.
So does that, Chuck, does that affect the lyrics and when you're working on them, or how much does that affect the lyrics, I guess, when you're kind of trying to form things around an album versus an EP or a single?
Usually when I get material from Tron, it's in a batch anyway.
Okay.
As he already said, like some songs, if I push hard enough, we can get them to be as singles, especially considering whatever that particular topic is about or whatever's relevant in the current, popular culture. If we need to get something out right away, we can do that. But usually things are in a group already, and
Okay.
we already have progressed, not only in our personal lives, but as a group into a next plateau of creativity or wherever we're at in life. So I'm already focused on certain things that I want to speak about, or however I'm feeling about certain things, I'll write them down in a notebook or write them down on my notes app on my phone or something like that. So it doesn't affect it too much because I've grown accustomed, like I said, now to writing things in batches, and instead of just throwing things out as they come at that particular place in time, I'm sitting on things and going back on ideas and second guessing what I say, how I say it. Can I say this better? Can I be more influential in how we're presenting this? And it gives me time to further hone ideas rather than just throw something brash out into the atmosphere and see if it sticks. You know what I mean?
Okay. So it kind of more of an editorial, it gives you kind of that editorial license to go back and sharpen the pencil, I guess, or
Yes, especially now, I guess maybe tooting our own horn, but we've been around long enough and we're semi-recognizable now where we can get away with doing things like that. We're not really at the pressure of having to release things in a certain time frame. We're not at anyone's mercy. We can just kind of do what we want at this point, so to speak.
Yeah, and in your lyrics are, they play on your life and current events. Does sitting on those a little bit more, how does that play into, when you're reflecting on, things that are happening to you personally or things that are happening in the world around you?
Well, it's hard. I'm not very good at reflecting those ideas immediately. I kind of act out on past emotions or current ways that I'm feeling, sometimes in a negative way. And I have to have, I'm grateful to have a strong support system like my family and the Guerrilla Ghost family, the Triple I Industries family, to like check me and get me back in point and, say, we understand you're lashing out right now, but you're doing it at the wrong ones. You need to come back to ground.
Okay.
Humbling to have people like that in your corner, because it not only helps me grow as a person and elevate myself for my family and my friends, but it helps to elevate the music and the creativity and the art that we present. So having that editorial space, it's good to have people like Tron in my corner, like, you're kind of acting like what right now, man, you chill out. Or, my partner at home, like, you're kind of being weird to me and the kids. You need to like come back to ground for a little bit, things like that. It's good to have that. It only helps,
Right. And does the aesthetic of the beats that Tron's putting out affect the lyrics at all? How are you going back and forth and giving notes on how is that relationship evolved? as you know, you guys are working together as a duo?
I think a lot of the times, most of the feedback Chuck gives me is he'll tell me that certain songs sound like they belong together, but then when we get into the actual composition aspect of it, I mean, I always tell him too that everything I send him is a sketch. So if there's anything that needs to be tweaked, let me know. And he'll come in, you know, on a production day and maybe give me a little coaching on how the arrangement could change to fit his vocal idea and his song structure a little bit better. So we've gotten better about making sure that you know, nothing's set in stone, and we're not being too precious about the art, so that we can kind of have a dialogue back and forth to make things better. Plus, a lot of times Chuck will lay down vocals and he'll have an idea of how something, you know, might need to echo or repeat or something, or it needs to have a you know, like a down-tuned whole octave pitch down voice or something like that. And so he'll give me kind of an idea of what he wants, and that'll give me an opportunity to go back and try to you know, punch that up a little bit and figure out how I can then take his vocals, resample them, and work them back into the material in a way that I'm happy with it, but then also addresses some of the, you know, some of the rhythmic ideas that he might have vocally, but isn't able to, you know, do them production wise, because I'm the one doing the production. So so yeah, we've been doing a lot of going back and forth with that, which I think has been great, and the music's gotten better for it.
Yeah, and you guys have always had guests on your albums, and you've got a number of local guests spots on the new album. So we're talking to Guerrilla Ghost, the local band, who have a brand new album coming out, Hell is Empty and All the Devils Are Here. It's due out on Triple I Industries next Friday, April 15th. So some of the guests you have on the new album are Rec Riddles, Katana Dadan, you've got Nile and Taimo Denku, as well as Taj Raiden. So you kind of focused on getting, I think, working with people you worked with before, but also keeping it local.
Yeah, that's true. We actually have everybody that is on our record are people that we've got personal relationships with. For example, Rec Riddles has been on a few songs. He was on our last full length, and we did a single with him. We've played a few shows. He's a touring monster, touring machine. So whenever he comes through Milwaukee, we always try to book with him, and it gives us an opportunity to play those songs with him.
St. Louis, stand up. And
then Katana, she was on the last record as well. She's great. She's great at rapping, but also she sings. She's a great singer. She's just got so much soul.
A beast.
Yeah, and she
Denver, stand up.
Yeah, we met her she was on a tour with Carnage, and he brought her over to the house, and we got her on she's actually does backups on the first Guerrilla Ghost record, the Sad Motion, which is pretty cool. And we've just maintained a relationship and stayed in touch. And Denku, that dude has put us on so many shows locally, and we've tried to return the favor when we can. And he was on a posse cut on the last record, but this is nice to get him like on an actual track where he can, you know, spread out a little bit. And well, we got Nile from town. He's great, young and up and comer. That dude's hungry. We played a couple shows. We played Mitten Fest with him, and we first played a matinee at X-Ray Arcade
with Rec Riddles.
With Rec Riddles, yeah. We actually had to book that. We booked a matinee for Rec Riddles because he needed a show on that day, and we were able to do something midday at X-Ray, which is
shout out to Nile. He's doing great things.
Yeah,
love that dude.
And then we got Big Low. Again, we played with him at Company Brewing. He's great.
Pensacola, stand up.
Yeah, from Florida. He's the homie. He was trying to be on the last record, but didn't have enough bandwidth to fit it into his schedule. So we finally got him on this one, and he nails it. And then Chuck was able to convince Taj Raiden to come out of retirement. She's one of our favorite local MCs. She's young, but she's kind of retired from the game, except I think she might be back doing stuff again. So we can only hope and wish. She's amazing.
Taj Raden actually played our debut full-length album release show at Cactus Club.
That's right.
With Tayamu Denku. And yeah, she is one of our top 5 favorite Milwaukee MCs, and it's an honor and a blessing to have her on this record. We were very grateful that she was able to consider fitting this into her schedule.
And boy, did she deliver. When she came over and recorded that track with us, what I normally do when Chuck comes over on a production day is I'll let the track roll a little bit just so that you can kind of like get back into the headspace and get into the vibe. And then we take it back from the top, and then he'll start tracking. I tried that approach with Taj, and I wish I would have had the first take rolling. I just had it playing back just so that we could get them check mic levels and stuff like that. And she nailed it the first time. So the take on the record is actually the second take. She could have done it in the first take. No overdubs, no punch-ins. She's a one take wonder. And
shout out Taj Raden.
Yeah, so she's so talented. I can't wait to see her do a whole lot more, and hopefully she'll come correct with a full length. We'll see.
Yeah, fantastic. That's awesome. And when you're working with them, are you sharing, Chuck, are you in contact to kind of let them know what the material is that you're talking about or rapping about on the particular song to get them in line, or I shouldn't say get them in line, kind of be on the same page as to what the feel is?
Yeah, we're in constant contact with them always. I guess more so recently, I haven't really gone about it in this approach, but what I used to do is I would reach out to artists and I would say, yo, I'm first and foremost a fan. That's why I'm reaching out to you. I have this project, would like you on the song. This is the instrumental version of said track. This is what I'm thinking about for the concept or the content matter. It's that and the other thing. If you're feeling it, hit me back. If you got any questions, I can answer them. If you have any input, we can most definitely do that, because we want it to be a full collaborative effort, like I said. So yeah, artists are always, in constant contact, and we definitely like to record in-house with them. I mean, if need be, with time constraints and how certain people record, we do outside verses and things sent in, but we like to be in-house with people. Just so we can all vibe off each other, just have a conversation, have a drink, whether it's bourbon or water, whatever, we don't judge. Just vibe off each other, get the atmosphere going, and then record, the track together. We like it to be a full collaborative effort, because at the end of the day, it's not just our art or our expression, it's theirs as well. And we want to make sure that they feel appreciated, valued, and that their endeavor is coming across 100% as well.
Yeah, and that's I guess that's probably one of the benefits of doing that with the getting the guests with artists that you are familiar with, and also getting local artists, is then you kind of, that energy that you guys have is kind of matched, because you're working off of one another and sharing that energy as you're creating. Right.
Except for Denku, because he's just a whole different monster. You just hold up a couple objects in front of him and they'll just freestyle 72 bars about whatever you're holding.
I would imagine in the time that we've started this interview, he's probably recorded 3 songs. So yeah, we had Niall and Taj come over to the studio to work directly with us. It was nice. It just gave us an opportunity to hang out. Denku has his own process, and he's got a pretty nice studio. And over the years, I've gotten pretty familiar with the process of sending over vocal stems and tracks with the vocals, with the backing beat and the vocals blended in, and then getting them to line up to my work.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's fine. That's just another workflow that I have to deal with. I mean, we do a little bit of that. We did a little bit of that during the pandemic on the last EP we did, and to finish up the last record, just because Chuck had to record at home because we were isolated. But yeah, it is nice to have people in the studio too.
So the new Guerrilla Ghost album is Hell is Empty and All the Devils Are Here. It's coming out next Friday, April 15th. You can pre-order it now at gorillaghost.bandcamp.com. You're pressing 100 copies of vinyl, and then you've got CDs as well as just digital downloads. Do you have anything, what do you have planned as far as getting out there? And do you have any shows lined up at the moment?
Yes, we do. Currently, we have 3 shows on the docket. So this will air in time enough to talk about April 9th. We're going to play at Drunken Cobra in Tosa with Carnage the Executioner and Tayamu Denku. That's going to be a great show. Carnage.
Hecatomb.
Yeah, Carnage puts on an excellent show, man. I always tell people he's like he's a mix of Michael Winslow from Police Academy and the Fat Boys, because he makes all his beats with his mouth and loops them. It's otherworldly. So, and that show's free. So if you can make it out, come for that. The record release show is April 14th at the best place at the historic Pabst Brewery. That's 414 Day. It's part of the Breaking and Entering curated shows that they're doing. We're playing with a local band called Spoy. Pretty excited to check those guys out. And then we hopped on the bill for the Convert show at the end of the month, April 29th at X-Ray Arcade.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, it's the Convert record release show with Guerrilla Ghost, Rex, and DJ Vic Dagger on the 1s and 2s, spinning in between sets. So we got a packed April.
We're coming for you, Rex. We're coming for you, Zach Otto. I got hugs for you, brother.
All right. Yeah. All right. So, yeah, the new record, Hell is Empty and All the Devils Are Here by Guerrilla Ghost, available next Friday, April 15th. Pre-order it now, gorillaghost.bandcamp.com. Again, you guys are going to have vinyl and CDs available, as well as digital download. Thank you for chatting with us here today. We're going to hear a couple more songs from Guerrilla Ghost off their brand new record, Hell is Empty and All the Devils Are Here. Thank you, guys.
Excellent.
We love you, Craig. We love you so much.
You're the best.
You are so awesome. We love WMSC.
Right on.
Downtown.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Thanks.